Number 2, bacilli. 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 These are cylindrical or rod-shaped bacteria. These are cylindrical or rod-shaped bacteria. These are cylindrical or rod-shaped bacteria on the board. Rod-shaped. Full stop. Example is what we call Bacillus anthracis. On the board, Bacillus anthracis. Example of a bacilli bacteria is Bacillus anthracis, which causes the disease called anthrax. Have you heard about anthrax before? It is a disease affecting chicken and humans. There was a time we had anthrax endemic. Okay, so how does bacilli look? It looks like stick, rod-shaped. So draw something like that around your book. Something that looks like this, cylindrical or rod. Then number 3, vibrio. Number 3, vibrio. Number 3, vibrio. These are curved or comma-shaped bacteria. These are curved or comma-shaped bacteria. Please look at the board before you continue. Look up, look up. Let's pronounce this. Eh? What's this? Okay. That thing you call coma, the full name is actually called comatose. In case you see it somewhere in your novel. Okay, so I said they are curved or comma-shaped bacteria. Curved or comma-shaped bacteria. Full stop. Example. You have a popular example. Give me one. Vibrio cholerae. Vibrio cholerae. That causes what? Cholera. So this is spelling. Vibrio. So you put E at the back of the name. If you notice this pneumonia we wrote, did we add E here? Yes. Don't write pneumonia, it's pneumonia. So Vibrio cholerae causes cholera. What is cholera? Huh? Cholera is a condition whereby someone is stooling and vomiting at the same time. Is that right? Diarrhea is watery stool. Dysentery. What is dysentery? Huh? We say these things every day now, Buria. Afana Sam. Diarrhea. Dysentery. What is dysentery? Which one? Watery stool. Okay, to come out small. Go home and check it. If you wish. So the last one, number 4, spirochetes. Spirochetes or spirilla. Spirochetes or spirilla. These are spiral-shaped bacteria. These are spiral-shaped bacteria. Example includes. The name of this one does not tally with the shape, but it's a popular thing we know. Example include Treponema. Complete it for me now. Treponema what? What does it cause? Example of spirochetes is Treponema pallidum that causes the common STI called syphilis. So it is a spiral-shaped bacteria. Okay, so this is the classification based on shape. This is what we have under shape. Is the note big? It's not big. I'm trying to make it simple. Is it not simple? It's not simple. You don't have choice. You have to write it. I told you that biology is just big but easy. And we agreed. Didn't we agree? Okay, you didn't agree with me. Okay. Classification based on temperature response. The second one. Temperature response. But this is not hard. On a serious note. Let's recap what we just did now. Let's not recap. You won't know what landlord has room not na kwa na ya atita. Why your vehicle? So let's just recap what we said. We said that classification based on shape. How many shapes are there? How many? 4. The first shape there is cocci. Is what? What does cocci mean? Round. Second one, bacilli. What does it mean? Cylindrical or rod-shaped. The third one there is what? Vibrio. What does it mean? Curved or comma-shaped. The last one is what? Spirilla or spirochete, which means spiral. What Google? What's now the heart? Is it the example? I said you might. Might. What is might in English? Probability, if you want. So if you think you can learn an example, learn. If you can't learn, leave it. But this is the major thing we want you to know. Then, under cocci, you see that cocci of 5 types. The first one is what? Monococcus. Second one, Diplococcus. Third one, Tetracoccus. Fourth one, Streptococcus. And last one, Staphylococcus. Finish. So what is hard? So classification based on temperature response. Under this criterion, there are 3 types of bacteria. Under this criterion, there are 3 types of bacteria. Namely, the first one is called thermophilic bacteria. Second one is mesophilic. I said 3. And the last one is psychrophilic bacteria. Using common sense, we can think it out, right? What does thermo mean? Hot. Wherever you see meso in biology, what does it mean? Middle. Then psychro will not mean what? Cold. So it's not hard. The word philic is coming from the word philia. What does philia mean? The opposite of philia is phobia. So what is philia now? What is phobia? So what will philia mean? Love. Love. Someone said, wow. There is a name called Philomena. Inugo Makafa. What does Philomena mean? Love. Philo. Philo kana where? Sister Philo. Nda na bakebe church, sister. Enwe ụfọdụ afọ ya afọ na sound church. Mana ihe dịka Linda. Mba. Esther is church. Linda, they say Linda means snake. Don't know. They said. So the word philic, as I said, is coming from the word philia. And I said that philia means what? Love. Please look up. What does thermo mean here? Hot. So when you join hot and love, what do you have in English? Hot lovers. So it simply means these bacteria love heat. They love what? Heat. Loving heat in that essence means they can survive in hot temperature. So you can see that it's not all the time you warm a food that you kill all the organisms there. Is that right? After warming a food, if you leave it, will it still spoil? Yes. Because there are some bacteria that still do not die. Even if you warm it to 300 degrees Celsius, not all will die. Is that making sense? If you put food in fridge and leave it later, will it spoil? Yes. Because even in the freezing point, there are some bacteria that you still did not kill. Is that making sense? The only bacteria you can kill in heat or cold are the mesophilic. Are the what? Mesophilic. That is, once you increase or reduce temperature, they will die. Is that making sense? This thing is just English. So let's write thermophilic bacteria. These bacteria, plural, THESE. These bacteria can be said to be heat lovers. These bacteria can be said to be heat lovers. These bacteria can be said to be heat lovers. Full stop. They tend to survive high temperatures. They tend to survive temperatures. High temperatures. Even up to boiling point. Even up to boiling point. What is boiling point? What is boiling in chemistry? We say that in chemistry, boiling simply means a condition whereby atmospheric pressure equals to the saturated vapor pressure. Once these two pressures equalize, boiling begins. So the boiling point is that point when the both of them are equal. Is that correct? Is that correct? What's the atmospheric pressure? What digits? 760 millimeter mercury, right? What's saturation vapor pressure rather? Your chemistry, gas laws. I don't know. Me self asking, I don't even know. 22.4 dm cube. dm cube. Is that not volume? I'm talking of pressure. Okay. I don't know. That was your business. I can't run jibe. I'm done with writing my own jump. I can't write it again. Okay, so I said that they survive temperatures even up to boiling points. Now, different liquid have different boiling points. Is that correct? Water cannot boil at the same time with iron. Can iron boil? Can iron boil? Yes, it can. When you melt iron, any liquid can boil. What did I say? Any liquid. Once you're in a liquid state, there's a temperature you get to, you boil. So we have that liquid iron, liquid metals can boil. But once they solidify, they can't again. Is that correct? Can you melt any kind of metal? Yes. I remember those days we did metals in basic technology. They told us that metals have 4 physical properties. They are ductile, malleable, lustrous, and sonorous. Is that correct? So the ones that, the property whereby metals can melt, what's it called? Huh? It's not part of what I listed now. Sonorous means they can make sound, right? Lustrous, they can shine. Malleable, they can be hit into sheets. Then ductile can be drawn into wires. So melting does not have a special name. They can melt. So any kind of liquid can boil. So I didn't say boiling point of water. I just said they can survive what? Boiling points. So we're not talking about water only. So it's not actually 100 degrees Celsius we're talking about. Is it making sense? Okay. So the second one, mesophilic. Mesophilic bacteria. These are bacteria which can survive at room temperature. These are bacteria which can survive at room temperature. What is the value of room temperature, please? Room temperature is 22 to 25 degrees Celsius. It's a range. So you write in brackets, room temperature 22 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius. But the one we commonly use is which one? In your chemistry, 25. they will tell you a question. If giving a volume of a given mass of gas at 25 degrees Celsius is getting one, that 25, or they will tell you STP. Have you heard about STP before? Standard temperature and pressure. That temperature there is usually 25 degrees Celsius, while the pressure is usually 760 mmHg. Okay. So I say they can survive at room temperatures. Full stop. They tend to die once there is increase or decrease in temperature. They tend to die once there is a decrease or an increase or decrease in temperature. Anyone? Full stop. Full stop. Then the last one, psychrophilic. Psychrophilic. These are bacteria which tend to survive in low or cold temperatures. These are bacteria which tend to survive in low or cold temperatures. They tend to survive in low or cold temperatures. Full stop. Full stop. Okay, so that's about that. Then the last one, classification based on Gram-Stein. Though there are many other classifications, but we'll just use these three. We also have classification based on oxygen response. We divide into aerobic and anaerobic bacteria. There are many. But this is that biology is quite, you can use your head to answer some questions. If you see biology options in an exam, at least you should have an idea of something to write. Unless it was itibonkom. Itikonkom. So Gram-Stein. This criterion is based on response to a chemical lab stain. This criterion is based on bacterial response to a chemical lab stain called Gram-Stein. This classification is based on bacterial response to chemical lab stain called Gram-Stein. Full stop. Full stop. Chemical lab stain called Gram-Stein. Full stop. There are two kinds of bacteria under this classification. Namely, you must have heard about it before. We have A, gram-positive bacteria, and B will be what? Gram-negative bacteria. Gram-positive and gram-negative. So what do we mean by gram-positive? Gram-positive bacteria are bacteria that absorb. Am I too fast? Where did we stop? Where should I come back to? Not like you read this thing you are even writing. God, no, you know, we know. Oboria. A pack one at Bagata now HQ Furianachte. Why are you stressing me? So I should start with a place. I said there are two kinds of bacteria under this classification, right? Is that what? Have you written that? Namely, A, gram-positive bacteria, and B, gram-negative bacteria. Then let's talk about gram-positive. 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 These are bacteria which have a thick. Okay, that's not what I said before. Well, add it. You have to add it. That have a thick cell wall. And can absorb the Gram-Stein. Have a thick cell wall and can absorb the gram stain. Example, Staphylococcus. Example, Staphylococcus. Then second one, gram negative. These are bacteria that have a thin cell wall and cannot absorb the gram stain. They have a thin cell wall and cannot absorb the gram stain. Full stop. Example, Streptococcus. Example, Streptococcus. Did we get that? Should I repeat? So gram positive, just there are two things you need to know there. First one, gram positive have which kind of cell wall? Thick. Then what do they do to the gram stain? They absorb it. The gram negative have thin cell wall and they do what to the stain? Cannot absorb. Simple. So Staphylococcus is gram positive, while Streptococcus is gram negative. Okay, so that's about classification of bacteria. Is bacteria hard? One more thing under it. Structure of bacteria. Structure of a bacteria. Structure of a bacteria. Okay, I wanted to explain what a stain means in biology. A stain is not like this dirty in your clothes. When you hear stain in biology, we are talking about chemicals. About what? Chemicals. In chemistry, those kind of chemicals are called indicators. Are called what? If I ask you examples of indicators, you tell me methyl red, methyl orange, phenolphthalein, bromocresol, right? Okay, so similarly, they have similar actions, just that in biology it has a different name. So a stain is any chemical you prepare in lab that you want to use and know a response an organism will give you. That's what we call a stain. In chemistry, indicators is still used to know a response. When you add methyl orange is used for God when. Methyl orange is an indicator used to test for strong acid and weak base. What did I say? Strong acid and weak base. Those indicators have their difference, but there's one that is universal. What's that one? You can use for anyone. I don't know again, no. What's the most popular indicator used in schools? Is it red or orange? Then orange should be universal one. It can test for strong acid, weak base, strong base, weak acid. It can test for any kind. Okay. So do you understand what we mean by stain now? We have different types of stain. We have gram stain, Gemsa stain, acid fast stain. There are many stains in biology, but you don't need to know as much as that now. You will still later. Okay, so structure of a bacteria. We are going to use a bacilli as an example here. So we have something like this. Okay, so we won't actually talk much on fungi and what's it called? Virus. Fungi, you do more of it later when you get admission. You get admission now, but so in your year one, you talk more about it, fungal diseases. then virus too. I'll just summarize and give you key points you need to know about fungi and virus, but we won't talk about it as much as we spoke about bacteria. Then we dwell on parasites. That's where bulk of your questions come from in JAMB under microbiology. Did we get? Okay. So as you are drawing, listen, let me just summarize fungi and virus for you. Okay, so let me start with fungi. We have that in taxonomy, fungi is actually a kingdom of its own. And we have that we have types of fungi. We have pathogenic fungi and non-pathogenic. And as I said earlier, the word pathogenic means what? Disease causing. Is that right? So there are fungi that affect man. Most of the times, whenever you see a growth on your skin, most likely that should be a fungal infection. Or you see itching. Anytime you feel something is itching you, nothing beats you, mosquito do not bite you, you can't remember an insect biting you, then you start feeling itching all of a sudden. It should be a fungal infection. Or you see sometimes white things on your skin, it should be what? Fungi. Or you see something like ringworm, it should be what? Fungi. Most of the times, most skin infections are fungi and some few are bacteria. Is that making sense? So classifying it into the basics, we can't classify it now. As I said, it's not in your scope of learning now to learn more about fungal infections. But this should just be the overview you should know. Yeah? Okay, then fungi also spoil foods. Bacteria and fungi are involved in food spoilage. There's what we call evu in Igbo. Do you know what is evu? You keep bread, you don't eat it, tie it and leave it for 1 month. Later you see something like white cobweb things, right? That thing is a fungi. It's called muco. It's called what? Muco. Then you also see them in soup. You don't warm soup for days and leave it. Even gari, you see those white. But on top of that gari, you get people where they chop them all. They will tell you, boil hot water, please. Let's pour on top. I may hurry I unyozo. Where you maybe when you have. But actually, the truth is that most fungal infections are not. They don't. How will I put the English? The English uses virulent. They don't attack you immediately as bacteria. You can eat that food and nothing will actually happen. Depending on the load. Even at the thing too much, you really know down on your own. No. But if it's a bacteria, like we have that, what causes food to spoil most of the times is bacteria. Is what? Bacteria. But after the food has spoiled, that white thing is now what? Fungi. So fungi only manifest when bacteria has acted. It's just like when I told us about scavengers and saprophytes. Which one acts first? Scavenger. Once a dead organism, once a body dies, scavengers come and feed. After they feed, then saprophytes will finish it up. So that's why I said that saprophytes are also called decomposing organisms. Is that right? Decomposers, as the case may be. And the examples of saprophytes are fungi and bacteria. Example, the third nitrogen cycle. Example, nitrobacter. Where? Nitrosomonas. Okay, so that's about that. Then talking about virus is a very big context of its own. We have that virus are both living and non-living organisms. They stay in the borderline between living and non-living things. It depends on where you find virus at that particular point in time. If you see virus in a living organism, automatically it becomes what? Living. If you see it in a non-living, automatically it becomes non-living. Is that clear? Now, in a non-living organism, virus exists as crystals. As what? These things I'm saying are important too. because I might not talk about it very, very well. Right, virus. Let's talk about virus. Can I otunsi kirima wataram? Ero na jam bobu number 1 question. Okay, I promise I will not give you big notes. Oh, should I give you big? You don't want me to give you all the knowledge you need, so I should be stingy with the knowledge. Okay, virus. This, okay, before I write, listen. We don't even say that virus is an organism. Do you know what an organism is? Do you know? When I taught us cell last year, we said that in the levels of organization, how many levels do we have? 5. The first one is the what? Cell, followed by tissue, followed by organ, followed by system, and the last one is organism. Meaning that all these things, cell, tissue, organ, and system, will come together to make what? An organism. Virus does not even have all these things. So it's not even worthy to be called an organism. In biology, we say that virus is a particle. It is a what? It does not have life. All the knocker, aziza. It does not have, you don't know where to even group it. It's very confusing. Do you get? So we say that virus is a particle. So let's write. Virus, this is a particulate matter or a particle which exists in the borderline. This is a particulate matter or particle which exists in the borderline between living and non-living things. It is a particulate matter or particle that exists in the borderline between living and non-living things. Full stop. A virus can be said to be living and non-living. A virus is said to be living and non-living depending on where it is found at that point in time. A virus is said to be living and non-living depending on where it is found at that point in time. A virus is said to be living and non-living depending on where it is found in that point in time. Full stop. A virus acquires life when found in a living medium. A virus acquires life when found in a living medium. And tends to be inanimate. And tends to be inanimate in a non-living medium. And tends to be inanimate in a non-living medium. Full stop. Full stop. In a non-living medium, it exists as crystals. In a non-living medium, it exists as crystals. In a non-living medium, it exists as crystals. Full stop. Subheading. Properties of virus. What is it? Okay, let's draw first. We have the right structure of a virus. Structure of a virus. Draw what you can understand, please. Okay, so this is actually a simple drawing of a virus. We have different shapes of virus, different types of virus, but this is the simplest one we can give now. Now we have that a virus has 4 major parts. How many parts? 4 major parts. The first part is the head. Is the what? Second part is the neck. Third part, the middle piece. And the last part is the what? Tail. Now, when a viruses are very deadly. We say in medicine that viral diseases can never be cured, but they can be managed. Is it cure? No. Yes, they can never be cured, but they can be managed. What does it mean? They can be giving you drugs to sustain your life, but you can't come out and say that you have a viral infection and then later in life you don't have it again. Okay, miracle. No wahala. Go and get HIV. Let's know if miracle will work for you now. Please, I missed one thing on that bacteria. Write it somewhere. Maybe if I don't tell you, read it up. Bacterial infections and their causes. Bacterial infections and their causes. Like, write it somewhere by the end of the class. If there is time, we do it. If there is no time, you read it. You read it, ba? Remind me. If not today, maybe anytime you see me again. That's if I'll come again anytime you see me. Okay, so as I said, why is it hard to cure viral infections? It is difficult because virus just don't affect a cell. Virus goes as deep as affecting the DNA of a cell. As deep as what? The DNA. And once the DNA of a cell has been manipulated, it leads to what we call mutation. What we call what? And mutations are very dangerous. You can see a child being born with one ear, with one eye. The mouth, this mouth, you have 2 lips. I've stayed in hospital and we gave birth to a child, and the lips divided into 2. We call it palate clefts. Yeah? But these things are genetic mutations, and viruses are one of the causes of mutations. That's why when a woman is pregnant and they see you have HIV, for example, they will give you special care. It's possible that a woman will an HIV woman will give birth to a child without HIV. I hope you know. It depends on how it is managed. If you manage it well, we call it dormant period. We will keep the HIV dormant. At that period, it can't work. It will just be weak. It can't do anything until the child is born. Then that kind of birth, usually we don't give birth through labor. You use surgery, CS, because once the baby passes through the cervical canal, there is a likelihood the virus can enter the eye or the mouth, and that becomes another problem. Even breastfeeding, you don't breastfeed your baby if you have HIV, yes, because any fluid, HIV is contracted through fluid exchange. Hope you know. So as you are kissing, the Lord is our strength. Okay, so that's about that. Now we have that a virus. So let's assume that a virus wants to affect this cell. What the virus does is that listen, please look up. It actually, first of all, mounts on the cell. After mounting, using the tail helps it for support and anchorage. Once it anchors on the cell, and know that no hurugo gidibam. Next thing is that it injects, this thing here is called what? Genetic material. A virus can never, please hold your ears. Jidantiga kakanhu nka. Jidantiga ma fine ma ugly. Hold your ears. Everybody, make sure you're holding your ear because this one, if you're an exam, die. What did I write here? DNA or RNA. A virus can never have both DNA and. What did I say? DNA or. You can only have DNA virus or RNA virus. A virus can never have the two. Is that making sense? But bacteria can have both DNA and RNA. Did you hear what I said? You can remove your hand now. If you like, let it fall out. So what happens is that once the virus mounts on the cell, it injects its DNA into the DNA of the cell. Once that injection has occurred, the virus now makes the cell to produce its own DNA. It's like I come to this sister now, and I'm holding a syringe. Now that syringe is me. Now once I inject that syringe into this sister, what have I injected? Myself. Is that making sense? So whatever I want her to do is what she will start doing. Is that clear? So once the DNA of the virus has been injected, the virus will now tell the cell to kill itself. The cell does not know what it's doing at that point. And when you watch Legend of the Sick ever? Yes. Actually, I'm going to go textbook. There is a very powerful person, Legend of the Sick, called Mother Confessor, right? What does she do? She makes you to confess and also commands you. Is that right? So it's whatever she wants you to do. You will, even if she, once she looks at your eyes, when she enters confessor mode, her eye turns black, she will start controlling you. You can take her to your house, feed her, give her all the money. You think that thing is movie? It's not movie. It happens real life. Hope you know. Somebody will tell you that mother will say or say I be a kaiga ben her with ATM. You've not heard stories like that. I draw you're gonna an account it's not 10 naira. So wash about for the upper. If they ask is near 5 million, I say most of the times what's used to make them come back to their senses is slap. But actually, there is a medical interpretation to that. We call it hypnosis. We call it what? Hypnotizing someone. Those things you watch Nigerian movie, they will bring hanky. That hanky contains drugs. Contains what? Once you inhale it immediately, it makes you to sleep. It puts you to sleep immediately. Even in theater, we'll be in theater, they want to do surgery. They will inject what we call general anesthesia. What did I say? But I used to wonder how the body works. Once you inject that thing, within 5 seconds, the whole body will become paralyzed. The person will just whatever, nothing. People used to die from there. We finished the surgery one day. Once the surgery is finished, before they will first of all start calling your name. Once they are done, they'll start tapping you. Nkechi, Nkechi. You don't just wake the person, because you can wake the person. The person can come into consciousness immediately, and out of fright, the person will die. So you don't call. It's like when they'll tell you small children those days, when they are sleeping, don't just wake them. You call their name as you are waking them, so they will not be afraid. Though that one is folktale. Mama da pokwagafa. O biera ko ye digina. Biera. If they call your name 2 times, you are in trouble. Chukwu emerie. Next you hear is wah. But in medicine, you have to apply that. We call your name. Call your name. If they call your name more than 10 times, you're not responding. So what go? We start running around. It's very painful, sha. But so far, once they are done, actually every anesthesia has this duration of action. That even that hanky they put in your nose, it has duration. Just that even if whatever they are doing, they'll do it fast. Catch you go to Gaka first. So that even if you come back, remember your name. But it's not magic. Me, when I was small, I used to think, so if I just bring hanky to someone like this, person would. You know, when you ask a movie, they used to act it or this, they'll bring somebody's neck. Bah! Or waje. It's not as easy as that, sha. Or you see them Nigerian movie. Don't kill me, don't kill me. It although you're not very recent, the person has died. Try go there. It's not actually easy to kill like that, sha. But what, do you know what they are holding in the neck there? What's some throat? Akberi, it's not only throat. Akberi. Have you heard about the trachea before? The windpipe. Once you occlude the windpipe, struggle for air for some minutes, the person will pause. There's a question they usually ask, between the heart and the brain, which one dies first? Have you asked that question before? And let me tell you one small story. Should I tell you? Okay, trust me, biology. Let me tell you very quickly. The process of death. We have that before someone will die, the first thing that dies is the respiratory system. Is the what? Most of the times, you see that when people want to die, they are struggling for breath. Unless it's accident. Like if it's natural death, most of the times the breath is cut short. We say that little children forget to breathe. Isn't it? Imagine you are forgetting to breathe. But newborn babies actually forget. Once a baby is born first, the first thing is that the baby needs to cry, right? If you don't cry, it's a problem. And we start beating you. You must shout. If you don't shout, sir, there's one we beat and beat. With 80 from kind of rubbish in a theater. Shake the body. It's not making sound. Shake. Upside down. Now, why will the baby need to breathe? If the baby does not breathe, the lungs will not work. When you enter your mother's womb, your lung was filled with water. It was filled with what? So once that's first thing is once you shout, the water is expelled from the lungs to leave. Then air passes through. Your lungs start working immediately, you cry. If not, the baby will die. And before they will die, they will become blue in color. You see them, their body will change to blue because there is no oxygen. It's shocking you. So similarly, as a child, when you were small, you used to wee in the bed, bah? Awesome, no. Okay, you are Superman. Everybody here when your mom in a bed. Me, I even stopped urinating at a very old age, but I will not say the age. But I was weeing for even up to 16. I was still weeing on the bed. Now, listen, what happens? You wee on the bed because as a child, your brain has not developed well to tell you to stand up and go to toilet. And those times they wee is when they are playing. In the dream, you see yourself in the toilet. You relax well. And then wee. So similarly, the same way the baby forgets that you should stand up and go and wee. Because of their brain is not developed, they also forget to breathe at times. They will breathe and then forget. After some time, after some seconds, if they are fast, they will remember and start again. Most babies die because of that, yeah? They will tell you once you are with a child, always look after them. Be close to them, monitor anything, any small thing. If they are not breathing, you beat them. How do you know when someone is breathing? Easily with their abdominal movements. It should be moving, right? So you know to say that it's not moving. It's here. It's here. Ha. What an answer. Why? Okay. So as I said, the first that we have respiratory death first. After the respiratory system dies, the second thing is that the brain follows. After the brain dies, the next thing is that the person becomes cold. Why is the person cold? Well, one of the functions of blood is that blood transports heat. Is that correct? So when heat is not going to that part of the body, it becomes cold. From cold, it becomes white. From white, many things start happening. Let's not talk about that one. So let's finish our virus. So we'll go and rest. Now what happened? Okay. So any question?